This week marks 2 years since the passing and departure of our dear Gili, our daughter Gila, from this world. Her yortzeit, her Yom HaPtira, her azkara, the day in which she departed from this world, is this week. And I want to share with you the following thought, which I thought should resonate with all of us, and certainly in her memory. In this week's Torah portion, there's a very, very strange exchange, a very strange episode that takes place. The Torah tells us that when Yaakov Avinu, when Jacob, our forefather, for the first time meets Rachel, his future wife, at the Be'er, at the well, Vayishak Yaakov leRachel, Vayisa et kolo vayefk. The first reaction that Jacob, our forefather, has when he meets Rachel is he kisses her, and then he looks upwards and he cries. And all of the commentaries discuss, what kind of reaction is that? Here is Yaakov, Jacob, our forefather, who exemplifies modesty and understanding of respect, of creating rapport with someone, certainly not to breach that trust, whereby the first thing that he does when he sees this presumably beautiful woman is he kisses her. And then he bursts forth crying. What's going on? So there are many different answers that are offered. The Rashar Hirsch reveals the following. He says that Yaakov kissed Rachel. When he kissed her, he was doing so because of an emotional, overwhelming effect that overcame him. This feeling that he needed to relate to her, that he needed to impart to her his emotions, his feelings for her, and for the story that would unravel with regards to their future history together. But when Rachel saw that he kissed her, says Rav Shar Hirsch that she must have thought that, literally he says, she must have thought he was crazy. I mean, who does that? I never met you before. How inappropriate. What type of behavior is that? And so immediately after he saw that she was taken aback, which would be expected, he broke out crying. And he then began to tell her and impart to her everything that he went through, everything that he anticipated, and everything that would be in store for him in the future. His overwhelming emotion that overcame him, his need to impart a story to Rachel, which is why he reacted with such emotion, both in terms of demonstrating his affection to her and in terms of crying with an outburst immediately afterwards. And what we see from here is the importance that is given for Yaakov, our forefather, to be able to share his emotion with someone, to be able to impart a story that he felt he needed to tell to someone else, who he obviously felt close to. As we approach 2 years since Gila's passing, one of the fears that I have is what will happen as time continues to pass. How many people will continue to preserve the memories of Gila? How many people will continue to know her story? And I started to haunt myself with the realization that eventually I'm going to run out of stories to tell about Gila. I won't have any new ones. I won't have any new experiences with her or with which to impart to others. And this week I had an amazing experience. I went to speak somewhere to a group of young couples who were going on shlichut, who were going out to various communities throughout the diaspora, and I gave over a lecture presentation. Immediately afterwards, one of the young ladies who was there, she came over to me, and I know who she is. I don't really know her personally, but I know that her family lives in our community where we reside. And she said to me, I know that you don't know me very well, and to be honest with you, Gila didn't really know me very well at all either. But I've been waiting to tell you this, and I couldn't think of a more appropriate time. She came over to me and she said, I want you to know that I myself am very involved in drama, and I love to sing. And she happens to have, at least she told me, she has a beautiful voice. And she said, one day I came out of shul, out of the synagogue, and Gila was standing there when I knew that she was experiencing challenges. And she came and walked directly over to me, and she saw that I looked a little down. My face was turned downwards, and I must have not been in the best of moods. She immediately approached me and she said, I remember how you have such a beautiful voice. Will you sing for me? And she expected me and wanted me to sing for her right then and there in the front of the shul, in the front of the synagogue. Well, she said to me, I didn't sing for her, but she said, I want you to know that her approaching me and asking me that question and remembering that I had a beautiful voice and how I love to express myself through song was so meaningful to me. It meant so much to me that here is someone who I didn't really communicate with that much, but that she remembered this outstanding feature of my persona, of my personality. She remembered and saw that I looked down, and she found a way to make me feel better about myself. That was who Gila was. That was the type of person that she portrayed. She had a story that she wanted to tell. She had emotions that she wanted to share. And she wanted others, much like Yaakov Avinu with Rachel's exchange, she wanted others to share their stories with her as well. This was the type of impact that she had. And I was so thankful to Hashem and thankful to you, Gili, that on this week of your yahrzeit, you were able to provide me with another story that's marveling, another story that demonstrates your outstanding character, your attribute and desire to be able to give to others and help others who might look down and might not be in the best of moods at that time. Thank you, Gili. And I want you to know your story continues and will always continue to resound with us. And I do believe that you will continue to have impact in this world upon the people who you touched back then and continue to touch now. That seems to be this week's Torah way, and it certainly seems to be every week's Gila way. We love you. Shabbat Shalom to all. Thank you once again for joining us. Please remember to consider subscribing to the page below and send me your comments. I will get back to you. Have a great day.